Here I am, sitting in this room, waiting for something to zoom me back again. All I want is to see your eyes.
Processing and channeling emotion.
Then I realize.
In a previous presentation, we discussed action-reaction characteristics of emotions, and in another, how we store emotions. In this, we discussed how we process stored emotions so that they can then be released. Processing involves some kind of formal or informal activity that we participate in to uncover stored emotional energy so that it can be released. We discussed previously how some people, perhaps living in a situation of constant fear and distress and with no respite, learn to repress and store their emotions. Many years later they may go to a therapist and start working through their pent-up trauma. During therapy, the person processes their emotions. Therapists have many tools at their disposal to use for this processing. Often, however, people uncover past emotional experiences by informal means. They may go back to a geographical location, which sparks memories, and they may meet people they once knew and in that manner process through their historical grievances. Processing emotion involves finding some activity that correctly stimulates past emotional energy in a safe and manageable manner. There are no simple rules for processing of emotions since every person is different, and there is a large industry, in Western countries at least, to cater for the need, involving psychologists, occupational therapists, counsellors, and many others. What suits one person may not suit another. In my opinion, each individual should find their own best way or ways for them to process stored emotion. Channeling can occur in conjunction with processing. It involves directing the energy released into something constructive, which leads to greater benefits than were available before the processing took place. For instance, consider the phrase, "Don't get mad, get even." The assumption from that motto is that you channel the anger you feel, "don't get mad," into greater achievement, "get even," so that you can prevail. Often the best way that a tormented person can get back at their tormentor is to be a successful person and shine at something. However, in the context of emotional fitness, channeling can mean something quite specific. Here we recall the discussions we've had about body grip and facial motility. We can use the emotional energy from stored emotion to channel into altering our fundamental body grip and facial structures. We can use this energy focused into stretch and hold exercises to enhance our potential or natural talent and change our behaviour. This processing and channeling is fundamental to consciously training yourself towards emotional fitness. People who succeed in life tend to be the people who learn to channel their emotions successfully. Processing of emotion through some talking therapy, perhaps with a counsellor, is often a worthwhile process. However, equally often, as is reported in the industry, clients come back week after week and report the same emotions. In other words, they don't go anywhere. They end up processing the same emotions over and over, week after week. Often change only occurs with passage of time, when people get back to their lives. There have been studies where clients experiencing depression who received counselling therapy had the same outcome over time as a control group who had no such therapy. In other words, for depression at least, getting on with your life is all that is needed to fix the symptoms. If we combine processing with some form of conscious channeling, however, then it is possible that we might be able to accelerate some of the effects of the aforementioned getting on with your life and reach a good outcome sooner and in a more deliberate manner. This is one of the aims of emotional fitness training. What we endeavour to do is process and channel stored traumatic emotional events and turn them into an opportunity to improve our functionality. Channeling of emotion is not currently part of widespread therapeutic practice. If any such channeling occurs in relation to therapy, it usually occurs informally through getting on with life rather than formally through any applied technique. Current therapeutic methods tend to focus on what people think or what people do with their minds and are explored by having the client talk about their experiences, hence talking therapy, otherwise known as psychotherapy. In emotional fitness training, channeling can be applied formally by directing the energy derived from processing emotion into improving body grip and facial motility using stretch and hold exercises as described in the previous presentations on those topics. The inference is that improved body grip and facial motility represent improved functional ability, improved thought processes, and improved psychological state. In later presentations, we discussed various channeling processes for specific emotions. The main accepted way to formally process emotions in Western culture is psychotherapy, which usually involves speaking with a counsellor or clinical psychologist. There are a number of less formal methods as well, including meditation, self-reflection, talking with friends, going on a holiday, starting a new job, or starting a new life. There is no end to the kinds of experiences that people have which may help them to process stored emotions and open up new doors for moving forward emotionally. We introduce you here to the term human development technology, which refers to the process of altering your developmental potential by using stretch and hold exercises to improve body grip, facial motility, and any other basic physiological configurations that might be relevant. Human Development Technology, HDT, attempts to make some of those changes which happen to your body when you get on with your life and become more functional so that it can be done quicker and more deliberately. And in another presentation, I cover this definition in more detail. In the meantime, it is sufficient to know that HDT embodies everything so far covered in this emotional fitness series. For the past 2 decades, I have been channeling emotional energy into my voice to improve tone, resonance, and to be able to sing, speak clearly, and assert myself to those around me. Whereas before my voice was weak and often off-pitch, now not so. Western society provides ample techniques for helping people to process their emotions, but very little for helping people to subsequently channel the energy released. Human development technology represents a directed approach to channeling involving directing emotional energy into altering and improving body grip and facial motility, and therefore overall functionality. There are a number of ways by which people can process and channel their emotions. Currently, our health system is focused on processing, and there is an absence of channeling. Better outcomes could be achieved by understanding how emotional energy can be channeled into greater functionality, and human development technology may be part of that. It is possible that in the future we will all be able to go to the doctor and get a prescription to do bodywork in association with psychotherapy as a treatment for an emotional disorder. Thank you for watching.